Hello everybody, this is Albert the Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about what to do when you're traveling when they only have an electric kettle that goes full boil. Now before we begin, if you haven't visited us in New Braunfels, which clearly I'm not in right now, come visit us. We'd love to meet you. We're in a little hamlet called Green, halfway between San Antonio and Austin. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell and post a comment right now because it just helps with the algorithm, helps with the growth of the channel and whatnot. All right, so I'm recording this now. Look, I think I'm going to release this in Wednesday, mid-October, because normally I'm infusing my third infusion of my ginger turmeric pu'er because it is cold. I record these videos like 9 months ahead of time, to be honest. So if I were to release this in order, this would be coming out July. Either way, I am getting some blue and green therapy, as I like to call it, here in the Pacific Northwest. I'd like to come here. I've probably been here 9 times in my life because I hate heat. You guys who come to the store know I hate heat. I was like born and raised in the wrong state. And I love the Pacific Northwest. And I should say with a caveat, I've never been here in the winter. I've heard from Washington State people who moved to New Braunfels, Texas, that Albert, they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. Spend 6 months in the winter. Touche, right? I think I've been here, the latest maybe was November once in Portland. In November, but all my time here in my life has always been May to November. Either way, I had not taken a trip. I had not left greater San Antonio area since we opened the store in April of 2024, which was about 1.5 years ago. So I was like, I need a break because I also, of course, teach. So I've taken some days up here. I'm recording this on the beginning of my second day, so I'll probably try to do some videos up here on just some topics. So I'm staying at a place that only has an electric kettle. Now, we've done episodes here on what to do when you're traveling. And the instructions I'm going to give you in this video, I've mentioned anybody who's come to the store who doesn't have a kettle with temperature settings. When you travel, don't settle. I'm going to do another video showing the 5 teas I brought on this trip. Don't settle and drink tea bag tea. So first of all, like on the plane, you know, if you ask for tea, they're going to give you nondescript orange pico. Or if you ask for a green tea, they're going to give it to you in full boil water. And it's just disgusting tea. But then wherever you're going, let's say where I'm staying right here, they don't have any tea packets. So I'd have to go buy tea packets. And there was another reason I love to travel is because like, you get to see local grocery stores that don't exist at your place. So I'm on this Bainbridge Island, and they have a grocery store called Town and Country, which I'd never heard of. But over there, I could have gotten any of the tea bag tea or whatnot. But no, you're going to do that. Either way, if you were going to buy tea bag tea, let's say you wanted to drink your nondescript green, because they're not telling you what cultivar of green it is, just green tea. And you come to your hotel or whatnot, and they have a Keurig or they have an electric kettle. And you're like, oh, this is made for coffee. I know because I've listened to Albert enough to know. I know that green tea, white tea, yellow, the lighter teas cannot be done at full boil. So what do you do? Well, let me drink this pu'er before it gets back. Before it gets cold, I should say. It's simple. Electric kettle. You have 2 options. If your electric kettle is glass, when it starts to kind of just do the fish eyes, as the Chinese say, pull it off the heat for green tea. But let's say you have an electric kettle that's stainless steel. The majority of electric kettles and no temperature settings are set this way. Let's say you're in that situation. Well, simple. So if it's green tea, now the obvious thing you can do, of course, is get a thermometer out, put it in. You can do that, but a lot of people don't want to do that. Kudos if you love doing that because you want your tea at the right temperature. Because we know one of the cardinal mistakes you can make when drinking loose leaf tea is brewing it at the wrong temperature. That is probably the second biggest factor behind quality of tea leaves or tea bag, which is fannings, the sawdust. That's the number 1 factor is using tea bag tea. But the number 2 is the temperature that you use. So well, let's get to the point. So for the green teas, if you don't want to get a thermometer out, go full boil on the electric kettle, like I just did right now. Open the lid, wait about 4 minutes. 4 minutes will get it down from 212. For you guys who haven't been in school longer, it's been 30 years since you were in school. Full boil is 212. It goes from about 212 to about 170, 180. That's where most of the green teas you want to be. And then use that water that's cooled down use that. Now, you might be at an Airbnb that doesn't have electric kettle, that has a stovetop. It's the same thing. Go full boil, whistle, woo, take it off the heat, open the lid, wait 4 minutes. Now, when it comes to the middle categories of tea, so this is going to be, I would say your yellow, even though yellow is 0% oxidized, I would say yellow whites, lightly oxidized oolongs, and even your Darjeelings, your light blacks, I'd go about 2 minutes. Now, with the whites and the yellows and the lightly oxidized oolongs, there's always debate as to what's the ideal temperature, but we know full boil isn't the ideal temperature. So I would go about 2 minutes to get it to about 190. And really with Darjeelings, since they come from the China bush and not the Assam bush, I would say this with Ceylonese teas too, the Sri Lanka teas, I'd probably open the lid, wait a minute, because you want ideally to be about 200. Now, what about the tisanes? The majority of tisanes should be not at full boil. I would say about 200. So, because remember, a lot of these are flowers and they're herbs. So if you're looking at your chamomile, you're looking at your peppermint, I would say your rooibos, especially if it's green rooibos, hibiscus, a lot of these are pretty delicate. I would not be doing full boil. So 1 minute, open the lid, wait 1 minute. And then I would tell you for like the hardier tisanes, cinnamon bark, ginger, turmeric, the hardier ones, then I would go full boil. And like with my pu'er should be full boil. So I just let that go and then infused it. So guys, in closing, green tea, 4 minutes. The middle category is about 2 minutes. The light blacks, 1 minute, along with the flowery tisanes. And then pu'er. And now, in general, I would say with blacks, even if you're doing Earl Grey, EBB, all of these, I'd probably do 1 minute. And then with the pu'er and the hardier tisanes, just use full boil. Guys, I hope that helps. Hopefully I'll be doing some other videos here. I got to run off to church. Until next time, take care and God bless.